Do 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 do. Bon dimanche tout le monde and happy Father's Day. Special treat today for Father's Day. I have my dad, my pa with me, so we're gonna have some chats for Heart Sundays this week. So I'm really excited to share him with all of you. So thank you for watching, tuning in, etc. But before I get into chats with Dad, I just want to share again, thank you to everyone who came out and saw all the 5 o'clock somewheres. We are wrapped for the season, but we're thinking we're going to be back in fall, so stay tuned for that. As well as I have a new tune coming out, Golden Earrings, June 25th. So on my Facebook page, you can see how to pre-save it on Spotify, as well as pre-order it on Apple Music / iTunes. So the more that you pre-save, the more you don't have to worry about missing out, a little FOMO, because you'll have the song already into your music inbox. So something to think about. And I'm starting to be a little bit weird and crazy with Insta Reels. I will eventually be on TikTok. That's coming down the pipe. But if you want to check out the craziness that I'm doing, I'm lip syncing to myself. It's really bizarre, but kind of fun at the same time, and showcasing some really cool things like me singing to an amazing tap dancer live at the time. So if you want to check out, head to my Instagram at Deanne Matley and check out all the fun things on there because I try to keep things separated amongst my socials. Anyway, so Dad, happy Father's Day. Love you so much. How has your day been so far?
It's been really good. Slept into 9:30.
Woo!
Looking forward to this. Kind of never done nothing like this on video or YouTube before, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all works out.
Well, it's special because I don't get to spend Father's Day with you, and so this is a nice way to connect. But I am going to be able to spend your milestone of 70 coming up here in July. How do you feel about turning 70?
Uh, well, I don't really feel a lot different. I think I'm blessed to be able to be get this far and not have any major ailments and still everything working. So I think it's good. So I'm looking forward to celebrating it with my family and friends for sure.
Yes, it's going to be
Yep.
fun. We're going to have a good time. I'm gonna have like a surprise coming your way, and you're gonna get your moves. Because if you have seen, I posted a video of my mom and dad dancing because they can like cut a rug like nobody's business. Again, it's on my socials, but so I've got a little surprise coming for the family for your birthday. So I actually am releasing a song on your birthday, but we'll talk about that later. So turning 70, you look amazing. You silver fox, as we like to say. Silver fox. Now, recently, you have completed, you're a cancer survivor now, and you've completed all your treatments and everything is good. So, yay, we're all happy about that. I wanted to ask you, is there anything that's like shifted in you since that whole situation kind of happened? Is there any changes, any more thoughts on life since, being diagnosed with cancer and now like have beaten it and turning 70 and living the dream?
Well, I think a lot of people, when they go through things like this, you tend to look in the mirror and you check your mortality out and say, wow. I mean, you hear about other people going through it, your friends and your family, and while it's concerning and distressful, it's not quite the same as having to go through it yourself. And when you do, you're not quite sure what to think. You're just kind of overwhelmed with it all. So I, I've gotten through it, and I think I'm just going to try and live for the day. It's all you can do, and not worry about the past too much. It's an old saying, of course, and look at it that way. It's all you can do. And of course, I think it's important for men to take care of themselves. They have certain things they should be doing, and getting checked up and checking the levels and everything else, making sure that that's being done constantly, and not worry about it, because cancer does tend to serve up a dose of humility
Mm,
when you have to go through it and when you come out the other side. So I think that's probably pretty good for the ego from time to time. But I think that's about all I want to really say about it, actually, at this
yeah.
point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously it was like the C word coming down the vine is not an awesome, word to have in any family for anybody. And so, it was an interesting time for all of us. And I'm just, glad that, you've come out on the end, and I'm really proud of you. You really did your due diligence, and you were getting your levels checked. And my father had prostate cancer, so he was on it. So when it was found, it was early. And so thankfully that, dad, and again, the shout out to all the men that, like, get on it, get your stuff checked. you know but so that's exciting that we're all complete with that and moving forward. And I'm just really grateful that all is well, and can't wait to see you and give you a big hug, because we'll be able to do that. So I've talked about morning rituals, and I wanted to know if you have any morning rituals.
Um, I guess at this point, the morning ritual for me is getting up, having a very large cup of blended tea, and then a very large cup of my special coffee, and then basically getting on some of the social media sites and or news, and just spending the first hour just taking it easy. That's called retirement, and and sleeping in as long as I can sleep in, which usually isn't that long, but the last couple of days, 9:30 was very nice this morning.
Lucky you,
You
9:30.
bet. Yeah.
And what's in your special coffee? I want I want
Oh, well, I mean, I make a very strong coffee, but I mix it up with protein powder, cinnamon, and cream. And so I blend the part of the coffee with the protein powder, and basically that gets me through till noon,
wow.
right? And it's very tasty as well. So
So it's like something like, I know for me, when I look forward to my first cup of coffee. That's like the one thing that I can't wait. After my meditation, I'm like, yes, now I'm going to sit with my coffee and just, like you said, just chill out and just be present in the moment and enjoy the little things, right?
you bet. And I mean, I get on YouTube and basically pick and choose what I want to watch.
Hmm.
So I think that's what I like. Sometimes when it comes down to news media and stuff, it's hard for me to pick and choose what I want to read because there's not too much in there I like to read.
Yeah.
At least with YouTube and music related and things like that, I can just pick and choose what I want. And there's always something to do with music and or something on there. So
And speaking of which, my dad is also a musician. He's a singer-songwriter and plays guitar. And so, when's the last time that you've written a song? Actually, I'm just really curious because, like, have you written anything recently? Has anything come down?
I think the last time I wrote a song was a complete song was when my mother died,
Mm.
just shortly before that. And you would have heard the song at her celebration of life.
Mhm.
Um, I've started a couple of songs since then, but I really haven't completed them. I think that's one of my goals is to get back into it. They don't just come, right? You have to be inspired about something. I mean, I guess for some people it does, but for me, there has to be. I wrote a song about radical religion. I think I wrote that about
Oh yeah,
five
I
or six.
remember
Yeah,
I remember that one. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
a pretty intense song. I mean, I just had to get it out, right? I basically had an experience where I listened to this particular situation on the radio, and I got very angry. Um, and so I had to go and just write down everything, and I wrote it all down, and I wrote lyrics for it. I don't really have music to it yet, but it's probably not for the general population because I don't have much patience for that kind of stuff. So, but I mean, that's the last one I've written.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But you've got like a book full of original tunes.
Yeah, I don't know, 20, 25 of them, I guess. I've written. I think I wrote most of them in the 80s and some in the 90s.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I was inspired back then more often than I am now. But we'll see. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's way more songs than I've written. And people always ask me, oh, you must, you get your musical talent. And I said, well, my dad's a musician, and I also share that mom, she's got a really nice voice too. Like the whole family is actually really musically inclined, and you know, even my sister Kelly, like she's got a really great voice too, and so it's nice to, talk about this, that you are a musician and that you'll get back to playing with the band, with the night jammers,
Yes. Yeah.
eventually. That's good.
That's been that's been disappointing. I really, really miss getting together and playing.
Yeah.
Back to songwriting. I mean, there's a couple of different ways. Everybody has to do their own thing. You have your own personal experiences, and then you look at other people's experiences, right? And I have written songs where I've tried to put myself in that position. It never really happened to me, but say, oh well, how would I feel if this happened to me or that happened to me? So that's kind of an interesting journey, because you go like, wow, now I can write about that. So I've done a few of those, and they've turned out kind of interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense because I mean, like, I wrote the song, the mother son song that you love,
Right. Yeah.
and I'm not a mom.
Hmm.
Like,
Exactly.
I don't. I have two cats. I'm a fur mom. I am not a mom. I do not have a son, but for whatever reason, I could connect. So just like what you're saying, yeah, sometimes that we can connect. I guess like outer body experience from the outside. We can connect to other people's feelings, and I think that's really great. Well, I'm looking forward to maybe one day recording one of your tunes, Dad. I think that would be super fun. Have a little Matley crew, Matley duo. We still talk about doing the song duo, the Sinatra, the Frank and Nancy um, song. We keep talking about doing that as a duet. Something stupid like I love you. What's the title of that song?
Well, the Frank Sinatra
Yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Something stupid. No, saying something stupid, right?
Like I love you. Is that the song?
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. I think I think we'll certainly do that. The other one I'd like to try and do is called Leather and Lace. I don't know if you ever heard of that song.
No.
Look it up.
Okay.
So it's I think the people that sing that, it's a song sang by one of the members of Fleetwood Mac,
Okay.
one of the members of the Eagles. So it's
Oh.
kind of they do a duo on it. So it's quite a beautiful song. So have a look at that one, and we'll see what we can do
Yeah,
with that.
I feel
Yeah.
that's like bucket list.
Yeah.
Like you and I doing a song and recording it for forever, because then it's like timeless. You have it, and I will release it because it's special. It's like here I'm singing with my dad, and I think I'm glad we just talked about that because now I'm like my brain's like, all right, putting it on the this is happening. So just we're gonna get this done.
You bet.
It's happening. We are committing to it finally. We are, that's like you said, let's just keep, creating experiences that, we can have with, forever and for forever and for the world to hear forever and ever and ever. So because it's Father's Day, I will of course want to ask you what is, no pressure, the best thing about being a dad, especially to two girls.
Uh, well, I mean, I don't. That's very hard to explain. I think. I mean, you're so lucky to have a family, and not everybody gets to have a family. Um, and we did, and we've had that experience, and it's just something that if you don't have it, you will never know it. All right. And so it's a beautiful thing. I mean, there's way more positives to it than there is negatives. I mean, there are some stresses raising two girls. But bottom line is that, the things that you benefit from and the joy that comes from it all far outweighs any of the other stuff. So what's the best thing? I think it's the joy in our lives that we get to see and experience you grow and both you and Kelly grow and see where you're going and the decisions you make. And sometimes we bite our tongues, but at the end of the day, they're your decisions. So that's how we all learn. So yes, I think it's just the joy and seeing how all that works. And like I said, we have been very, very blessed because, for the most part, both of you kept going down the path fairly straight. You haven't ended up in the ditch too often. So that's also very good.
Well, and I think that has a lot to, do with both you and mom being parents, both been there for us. Just
Well, yeah, I would like to think so, but
yeah,
it also has a lot of other things that go on too. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that parent well, and then it doesn't work out that well, or some serious things happen, and there really wasn't much they could have done. So, I think it's luck as well.
so,
Yeah,
what would be some advice then that you would give to future dads?
I think the biggest advice is balance. Um, I think every person that goes through as a parent needs to have that balance for your family and your work and your personal things. And a lot of times, it certainly happens, and I think it changes as you go through it. But you spend too much time focusing on the money aspect of it, or that. And if you spend too much time on that, then you give up something on the other side. And so it's important to have some balance so you can spend some quality time with your kids for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such amazing advice, Dad, and I really do. I felt that growing up. I totally felt balance. I really do believe that I felt balance within our family because we got to spend lots of time together, and you were a successful entrepreneur as well, which my both my sister and I are entrepreneurs. It runs in the family, and so it's you've inspired us through your journey, and then sometimes, and then we inspire people in our lives, so it's that nice kind of, yeah, the journey line. So thank you for all that you have done for us, and both you and mom. This is Father's Day, so I want to focus a little bit more on you, but I'm just really grateful that that we have each other and we have a wonderful family, and I'm really looking forward because I haven't seen you guys in like live for like 7 months. This is probably the longest time I've had gone without seeing you guys, except for when I lived in France. So
True.
yeah,
True. Yeah.
it's been interesting, but because of technology, we've still been able to, like, obviously, touch base and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to celebrating your milestone birthday with you. And yeah, so we're gonna wrap this call, but I love you so much, and I'm gonna looking forward to seeing you soon, 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 and thank you everyone for being with us, me and my dad. My dad's name is Dave. Probably should let you all know that too. Mr. Dave, he is badass. Anyway, have a great rest of your Father's Day, everybody, and amazing week, and à très bientôt.
Love
Mwah.
you, Dan.
Love you, Dad.
Okay. See you soon.